Welcome, everybody. I'm J. Marcelo Vaquero Alvarez, and this is the I Told You podcast, which is the podcast that did not want to do, but since the independent and the mainstream media are derelict, then somebody has to do it, so might as well be me. I'm J. Marcelo Vaquero Alvarez, as I say, and we're going to be talking about facts that nobody's been telling you, and it is going to be hurting your feelings. Well, I don't care, because what is coming next is going to be hurting your feelings. The difference is that I am going to be telling you what you need to hear. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about why the majority of voting in the USA fucked up and why are the MAGA voters are already getting some voting remorse. This is not a podcast for snowflakes, so let's get started. I said in my last episode that this is going to make you feel really bad, and I meant it. It is supposed to be for that, because unless you understand what you did wrong, you're not going to be able to move forward and actually fix what you need to be fixing. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I want to keep it under a half hour, but there's a lot of stuff that we need to be covering. And even as long as that is, I'm just glossing over for some of these important data points that you haven't actually heard before. And I'm not talking about talking points. I'm talking about data points, something that is going to help you factor into your decision and what you missed, so you can understand what we need to talk about later. So, why do the MAGA folks that they had the vote for Trump are regretting it now? Well, what the fuck did you expect? They lied to your face. They lied to the face, and they never respected your intelligence. They just needed your vote and your concurrence to listen to whatever fucking wedge issue that they needed until the moment that you were going to put them in power, and then they were going to do whatever the hell they were going to be doing. And that's exactly what they're doing. They haven't even gotten into power. That's going to happen in January. Just coming up here in just really very few days from now. And all the things that we've been warning you for a very long time, now you are not going to be able to do anything about that. Now, did you do your research before you were listening to whoever was the talking head, either on the left or on the right, that you like or you dislike? Did you actually look at the policies? Did you actually juxtapose what was Trump saying and what were the indicators well before this election and well before whenever any of these people were getting into power? There was a lot of opportunists into the Trump campaign that they were just pandering to whatever was the clickbait of the day. And a lot of you guys, they got it and you run with it and you didn't do the research and you have that emotional feeling that everybody else was wrong because you were the smart one, because somebody was talking something that was very easy for you to remember and you were just listening to that. Because it is easier to hear and repeat something that would fit in a fucking bumper sticker than actually doing the research on something that would be taking an encyclopedic knowledge level of understanding. You didn't want to do the hard work. You just wanted somebody to tell you all these wedge issue talking points so you would sound smart, just repeating them in rapid succession as gish galloping. And that is exactly what's been going on for the last fucking 4 years from this time of the election. But the problematic thing is they were actually going on way before that, way before 2016. The thing is that it got worse and worse. So did you do your research or were you just parroting those talking points? Well, I know the fucking answer because we saw that in the ballot. And I have been talking with people for the last several years about the same wedge issues and what they do when they don't understand something. And you call them on their shit. The first thing, if it is in social media, they just put a laughing emoji. Like that was a fucking burn. And then they go with a non sequitur, something that they don't fucking even understand or what aboutism. And when you call them on that shit, they get really angry about something and they just try to throw more talking points. And when you keep talking something that makes sense, they suddenly disappear. That is normally the fucking modus operandum, the MO that happens, okay? The modus operandi, okay, sorry. That is how it works. People don't understand that an issue has a level of complexity. Nothing that is important in government is going to be just easy, that you are not going to understand it. You need to understand that there's full context behind every issue. If it fits in a fucking bumper sticker, likely is that there is a lot of information that you don't fucking understand. But they just want to give you something that is easy to remember make you fucking feel like you're the smartest fucking kid in the room when you're indeed actually the dumbest kid in the fucking room, but now your vote count as much as everybody else's. That's what they wanted, that's what they got. So cynically owning the libs and the Rinos because anybody who was a little bit to the left of Trump, no matter how fucking extreme, you thought that they were stupid? Well, guess what? Now you are going to be in the same fucking boat. They were trying to save your ass because the problem is that whenever you give your vote to a demagogue, it's not that you are just burning everybody else that is on the other side. They don't care about your loyalty. Your loyalty means jack shit to them. Your loyalty doesn't matter. If you fucking bought thousands of dollars of MAGA merch between all the grips that he had, from Bibles to watches and flags and all the shit that he had all over the place, NFTs and all these fucking things that he was offering that only MAGA people, by the way, fucking bought. Nobody else in the fucking planet would spend a dime on that unless they were going to get placement and access. Placement and access to the freaking president of the United States of America. That's what they were looking for. And that's what they got. Do you think that a lot of the people that they were buying this shit for MAGA grifts and $100,000 watches and NFTs and gold and shit that Trump was selling were going to be MAGA people? The same motherfucking people that were complaining because they couldn't fucking buy eggs? No. That was not for them. It was going to be for the people from other countries that have fucking oligarchs that have a lot of fucking money to buy access to Trump. So they can do the things that Trump wanted to get done whenever he doesn't fucking follow the goddamn rules. And on that note, I want to know, where the fuck is the White House staff? I don't see any goddamn safeguards from these guys. Okay, so yeah, Kamala Harris, okay, love her to death. Yeah, she's been very quiet. She was saying, okay, the end of democracy is happening when Trump comes in, and where the fuck is she? I get some emails from the campaigns that they're sending me, still asking me for money. Okay, we're going to be having some problems. Why don't you actually provide some fucking guidance now that the ship is actually fucking sinking? That would be something that I would like to hear. Same thing with Biden. Okay, now he's cozying up with Trump and having a turnover like it was a normal transition of power. This is not a normal transition of power, and this very well might be the last one. And that is what some people don't seem to really understand, and you need to fucking start warming up to that process because he doesn't care about you. And we're going to be talking about the picks that he had for his candidacy or like for his cabinet and all these high-end positions. Some of which are not even real positions, but that is what we're actually seeing. That is what you voted for. That's why all those fucking libs and all those Rinos and all those non-MAGA people were telling you, hey, there is a problem with this guy. Even all his fucking former staff, they were saying, hey, there is a problem with this guy. This guy is kind of dangerous. He does not really understand. But why is that? Because Trump is not in charge. Trump is not in charge. You didn't vote for Trump. Dumbass. You voted for Vladimir Putin. He is going to be running the country by proxy using Trump as the figurehead until he's actually going to be inconvenient enough, which, mark my fucking words, this is probably what's going to happen. J.D. Vance, who was actually the pick for some interesting reason, even though he was just a junior senator and he did a stint in the armed forces, he's probably going to be the president of the USA because Trump is going to get too bombastic. He's going to get too stupid. They're going to say, well, you know, he's doing all kinds of stupid shit. And they're going to Article 25 his ass. They're going to say, okay, yeah, he's too incompetent. We're going to move him over there. Let's put J.D. Vance. That is probably one of the possibilities, mark my words, because that is probably what we're going to be seeing. Maybe sooner than later, as they run out of people to blame for all the shit that is coming down and say, well, those were Trump promises and those were Trump policies, but now we have different policies, so let's try to do something different. And, of course, all the people that are already MAGA, they're going to be coloring up in all the branches of government. That is the executive branch that is now being filled with loyalists. There is going to be the two chambers of commerce, the House and the Senate, which are going to be majority Republican, not even conservative Republicans, because now they know that if they speak out of turn, they lose their career. Yeah, or they have other types of pressure and duress. That's what seems to be what they have said. This is not my words, it's their words. Whenever they are after trying to follow the rule of law, and then somebody from the MAGA side say like, yeah, we're going to fuck you up if you do that. So they just color up and vote whichever way Trump wanted to do, instead of actually speaking truth to power, which is what is supposed to happen when you have different branches of government. Somebody is going to make sure that nobody has unilateral power. But then you also have the Supreme Court that gave Trump immunity way before he actually got into power. Why the fuck do you think that is? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because he planned on doing some stupid shit. He already done it. So he needed to get away with the shit that he did. And now he's probably going to get away with a lot of other shit that he wanted to do. Because no president in the fucking history of the United States of America has ever asked for immunity. Why is that? Because they were not planning on doing something that is probably going to be shady. Because there's regulations. There's going to be somebody in government that they're going to tell them, yes, there is something for you to understand, boss. You are doing something that is wrong. I'm going to tell you this is incorrect because of this and this and this and that, because it could result in this and this and that, and it's based on this and this and that. So those are your consequences. Please listen to us, because we are the person that is here to tell you not what you want to hear, but what you need to hear, because you have blind spots like every other fucking human being in the goddamn planet. So where are the safeguards? I don't see any fucking safeguards from the White House right now. And obviously, they were caught with the fucking pants down because they didn't fucking listen. I know, because I've written to them. And it's going to be in the archives from the White House when I say, hey, we need to talk. And you never fucking answer to this fucking point that I'm recording this thing. I have never seen a fucking answer. And I even told them, hey, I'll drive to fucking DC and I'm going to tell you all the shit that you guys are not seeing. Because your intel agencies apparently are obviously not telling you. Why? Because information is not packaged in a fucking little box with an envelope that you pull all the shit from the same place. It's going to be scattered all over the place. It's going to see tangential. It's going to see like, oh yeah, what the fuck does that other person from that other agency knows? Well, they know a lot, but unless you put that shit together, then it doesn't matter, because the information obviously didn't make it to the place that the decision makers were supposed to be doing something, unless they already had loyalists, which is very likely. There's two types of insider threats. There's the witting insider threat, somebody who is doing something stupid and nefarious, knowingly that they are sabotaging their own team, and that is really dangerous. And there's an unwitting insider threat, which is even worse, which is the person who's doing exactly the same thing, sabotaging the team, but they're too fucking stupid to realize that they are doing that. And I can probably fucking bet you that that's exactly what we're seeing here. And the proof is in the results. This has been already telegraphed for a very long time. So, okay, let's talk a little bit about some of Trump's picks for the cabinet positions. These are the most powerful positions that are going to be shaping how the USA is going to be working. Okay, starting from the first one, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. This dude, he is a News Fox, not even a primetime personality. He was an 04 in the Army for National Guard. So for you to understand rank and recognition in the United States, the ranks go from 01 to 010. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 10 being the highest is when you see generals or admirals or whoever, is going to be in those really high positions. This dude was a 4, an 04. He did 12 years. He was not necessarily doing something that is big in the great scheme of things. Why do you think that normally a Secretary of Defense for the largest military in the fucking planet since the beginning of civilization is normally a person of a high-ranking position? Because there's two things in the fucking world that you can never buy: talent and experience. In particular, when it comes to military talent and experience, you need to have those sets and reps. That's why these guys have been seeing all kinds of shit. Even if sometimes the flag officers, they're going to be feeling like they live in a fucking bubble. At some point, they were that 01. At some point, they were that 02. At some point, they were that 04. And they promoted further than this guy to 05 and 06. Okay, so anything below 05 means that you're a junior officer. You're still being trained. You still don't know what the fuck is going on. In some places, you're going to be fetching coffee because you still don't fucking really understand. Okay, you might be able to sit on the place, but you're going to be looking pretty. You're not going to be doing something when it goes to higher headquarters. Because the different level of decisions are at the varsity level. You have to understand a lot of other shit, and you're not just going to be able to understand that even if somebody fucking plugs you like in the Matrix fucking piece of metal in your head and start like downloading information on you. That's not how it works. So this questionable choice, okay, you like this dude. How the fuck is that MAGA doesn't have at least another fucking person, even at a higher ranking level, who at least has retired from the military, who at least has done a career in the military, not just fucking 12 years in two separate time frames? How is it that in the entire MAGA apparatus that is supposedly about patriotism, you don't have another better fucking choice? Oh, you didn't think about that. He was not just going to put a loyalist. Oh, yeah, I just need to put a Fox News anchor who seems to repeat some of the shit that I like, when there's probably millions of fucking veterans who voted for Trump, who were pretty much high-ranking people, that they probably at least have some information or some understanding about the military at a deeper level, who have been serving in higher headquarters, who have been in the area where you're supposed to be doing those particular sensitive jobs. How were not those people even considered for this position? You see, it doesn't even get any better from that. I can fucking talk all day about this, but let's keep moving on. Because let's talk about Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Okay, Marco Rubio, okay, he is a questionable person. Marco Rubio is the person who warned us before 2016, when he was actually running for president, that Trump was not just going to destroy the Republican Party, but he was a liar and he was a whole bunch of fucking other things that they were actually accurate. We actually were able to validate. So you knew something. But apparently, Marco Rubio, he also has his ass in some type of problem, maybe. Is that what it is? Why that you have this impression that a person who is incredibly critical of Trump just flipped on a dime? Okay, a little bit of American history. In 2016, when Trump was running against pretty much every other prominent Republican in the stage, which he insulted all of them, by the way, Marco Rubio was one of those, and he lost his campaign the moment that he said, okay, Trump is a very tall guy, but he has very small hands, and because he has very small hands, he probably has a small dick. Okay, so, he made that allusion about that. And you know what happened? He lost all the fucking sponsors. Like this, right away, down, gone. He lost. He got out of the campaign, and then he became a fucking kiss ass for him. He's been carrying water ever since for Trump. How is that person going to be then now the top diplomat when he has clearly had a very controversial talking points that he's been repeating and just carrying water for Trump when there were many indefensible things? That is going to be the top diplomat for the USA. Okay, and I can talk about Rubio for a very long time, okay? But this is the best choice that we have? That is the best choice that we have? Okay. Public Health Advisor Robert F. Kennedy, the same dude who is an anti-vaxxer, the same dude who carry a fucking dead whale head on top of his car with the blood spilling into the car. Yeah, that he actually fucking cut the head of a whale. Yes, that happened. Same dude who fucking killed a bear in Central Park and just left a dead bear in Central Park. Same dude that had a fucking worm in his brain that was eating some of his fucking thoughts, probably, because the shit that he talks is normally so divorced from reality. That same dude, he is the one that is actually going to be holding the health department for the USA. Also, I can talk for hours about this guy, but just think about that. There was not a better fucking choice in the entire fucking place? Or is it because he actually crossed the place when he was running for president also as an independent during this election, and he said, quote, if I vote for Trump, my wife is going to divorce me. Yet he endorsed Trump, and now they're fucking in the same bed. Interesting. Attorney General Matt Gaetz. Now just think about that. Okay, Matt Gaetz, he is a guy who was under investigation by the House Ethics Committee for the alleged sexual encounter with a minor and crossing state lines. Matt Gaetz actually wanted to kill this thing way before, at the time when the former Speaker of the House, McCarthy, was not going to be killing this investigation, because he's supposed to be doing that shit, okay? That's what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, if there's an allegation, find out, okay? If it is not true, then you have nothing to hide, because, okay, if you were not fucking a minor as a statutory rape, or it was not true, the rumors that he was breaking erectile dysfunction pills and chasing them with Red Bull so he can be fucking all night, maybe that would have been found out. That is not the case. But what did Matt Gaetz do? He resigned Congress like right before the report was actually supposed to be shown out to the rest of the world, so he would be confronted finally with that, even though he's been stonewalling it for years. But that was going to happen on Friday. So I'm recording this thing on a Sunday. And of course, he's gone. He's gone now. The House majority people, to include the Speaker of the House, the new Speaker of the House, he said, "Oh yeah, we're not going to be sending this information. Yeah, why should we sending this? Yeah, that shouldn't be something that we need to know. While you need to fucking betting who's going to be the top law enforcement person in the fucking country. Okay, so if it is not true, why don't you just fucking release it? Just release it. Just show it. Okay, yeah, somebody saying that these allegations are false. Show me that they're false. And if they're false, okay, fucking plaster all over the fucking place. You see? Vindication. Why are you hiding it? Okay, and now this is the best choice for Attorney General in the entire fucking country. There's no better attorneys. Even some of Trump judges' appointees who've been carrying water for him, this is the guy. Oh yeah, maybe it's because he's also been a very, very, very vocal acolyte for him. So loyalty is that where we're going after that? Okay, same thing. Okay, so Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. Okay, so Elon Musk would be the most prominent person right now in the USA because he has most money than everybody else. He has the most money. For years, I've been hearing that, oh yeah, George Soros, he's buying politics in the left and the liberals. And, well, I had never seen a fucking dime from him. But apparently that was really bad for the left and for the right. Like very bad that the left is doing this, George Soros. And there comes Elon Musk, and he's offering $1 million a day for people that are going for Trump. And giving $47,000 also every fucking day. And of course, yeah, all those things are probably going to be disappearing now because now Trump won. So, yeah, he got away with that shit. But do you see the double standard? Would have you accepted that from anybody else in the government if they were doing the same shit? Ramaswamy, he was also running for Trump, but he was never running for president. He was running at least for vice president for getting a position. And you could see that his way of speaking, yeah, was the same thing. Like cutting supplies and money, yeah, that was going to happen. And they're probably going to be going after your retirement, your social security, or any other thing, and give that to some other people who already have a lot of money. So what are you really doing here? What did you actually do? Do you think that they actually care about you as a younger person that is still lacking social security, still lacking that safeguard for whenever you grow older? No, that's not going to happen. And if you're an older person, do you think that they give a shit about actually maintaining that? No, now you're inconvenient. They're just going to let you fucking die. Yeah, and warm up to that, because that's the same shit that you just fucking put for the group of people who wanted to run the country. Got for UN ambassador Elise Stefanik, which is one of these people who poses as she's centrist, that she's not necessarily going from one side to the other, but she's still being pandering water for Trump and for all kinds of other shit. Yeah, she doesn't really have a lot of that experience, and there's nobody else who has better experience than her to take this role. Or is it because she's always been at every fucking MAGA rally or big speech or any other place? Okay. How about the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard? So she's been said by the intelligence community she is an insider threat. Not even an overt insider threat in the sense that, okay, I am saying all kinds of shit that might seem a little bit questionable. No, she's overt in the sense that she's actually been pretty much repeating Russian talking points verbatim. And now she's going to be in charge of that. Of all the intelligence in the fucking planet, they're going to give it to this person who's actually been deemed a Russian asset. Now think about that for a second, okay? So all the classified information that we have, especially for some of you guys who had to handle classified information, you know how fucking damaging it is. Now that information is probably going to have a release to Russia because now they're going to release all the shit because who is actually in charge? Well, it's not Trump. And I just fucking told you that at the start of this fucking podcast. He's not the one that's over there. And of course, Deputy Chief of Policy is Stephen Miller. So this is Steve Miller, same dude that was advocating for putting kids in cages and for this mass deportation and denaturalizing a whole bunch of people. So if you have a naturalization certificate, he might actually just get mad at you and fucking kick you out of the country. And since Trump has immunity, he might actually do it. And what are we actually going to do about that? Well, you voted for that. You voted for that, so if your spouse or somebody else, it just happened to fall into that category, apparently whatever were the constitutional rights that people had or that you work for to pledge allegiance to this country is not as big as just give allegiance to somebody that just so happened to be interested with MAGA. And now, think about that. Were there not better candidates in the entire fucking country? With all the millions and millions and millions and millions of Americans who voted for Trump, there are no better people than these guys. Yeah, and of course, the pickings continue getting crazy. There was like this chief staff that they just got for Trump. This was a lady, and then apparently they were not even talking to her. Why? Because, okay, just to show, oh yeah, there is a woman over there. Of course, by the way, there's no black people. So black for Trump, yeah, that didn't happen. There's no Hispanic people. Okay, so Hispanics for Trump, yeah, that's not happening. And you voted for that. You fell for that because you fail to actually do your fucking understanding of the reality that people are trying to show you. But instead what you did, laughing emoji, I'm scuffed. Oh yeah, stupid. Just call fucking names to somebody else instead of actually understanding that somebody was trying to save your own fucking ass. Dumbass. But this is not only the only thing that we're actually going to see. Very likely, Trump said that he was going to talk to Putin to end the war in Ukraine. And Putin called him a liar. Said, yeah, I never talked to him. And what is going to happen? He's probably going to force the Ukraine to surrender. And guess what is going to happen next? There's going to be a problem with NATO. And we're going to be talking in another episode about NATO, so you really understand how you fucked up on that. But we're going to be talking about that. And the other thing that's going to happen is that the U.S. is going to be losing its prominence in the world. Because we're going to be looking weak in front of the world because now Vladimir Putin is actually running Trump. Every time that he says something, he already make him shut up. He already put naked photos of Trump's wife on fucking prime television. That is a fucking power move to say, hey, I'm in charge. You are not in charge. You think you're in charge. I just wanted your clout. And all those fucking people, they just voted for me, for Russia. Yeah, they were actually repeating Russian talking points. They're still doing it. So loyalty is going to be akin to a mafia. So if you think you can insult Trump like you insult Biden in social media, just go to social media right now. Yeah, go to the White House social media page and see how many fucking people from MAGA are just insulting Biden anytime. They put the same laughing emojis, the same fucking cynical thing. Do that shit with Trump. See, how well it fucking goes to you. Yeah, I fucking dare you, double dare you. Do that shit. See, how you're not going to have somebody showing up at your door. That didn't happen with Biden. Because you thought that he was an authoritarian. Now you were going to feel exactly what that is. So Trump, who was convicted of 34 counts in New York for the falsification of business record, he's an adjudicated rapist and an adjudicated fraudster. So he lost all those cases. He vowed to prosecute his political opposition while complaining about lawfare that they were actually following him. Yet he goes, oh yeah, they were prosecuting me for the crimes that I committed. Because remember this, he was not actually arguing that he didn't do it. He said, well, I plead no guilty, but he was like, well, technically the statutes of limitations run out, so yeah, you should have probably worked earlier. Or no, you cannot prosecute a sitting president. because of the DOJ policies. That is very different. Say, well, I didn't fucking do it. So he has like 90 plus criminal federal charges spanning 4 different cases, which he's going to make just fucking simply disappear. And he's been kicking the can. And I fucking blame the White House, not the Republican White House, but this White House, because you didn't work on time to do what you were actually supposed to be doing. You needed to show, okay, this is the rule of law for everybody else. But instead, okay, you're worried that maybe Trump is going to win if we start not showing the real facts. Well, guess what, motherfucker? They were not going to agree with you either fucking way. So if you were going to be upholding the rule of law and do what you were supposed to be doing, it didn't matter about the fucking votes. It mattered about fucking America, understanding, oh, why is that? Because then the information was going to actually come out, and somebody would have to be working those stages of grief and say like, oh shit, so what happened really to Trump? Okay, because Trump said that that didn't happen, but now that if you're actually showing the reality and you're actually putting the safeguards in the way that you were supposed to be doing, well, we would not be facing this problem right now would we? So the DOJ not prosecuting a sitting president does not mean that he didn't commit the crime. He did that shit already in his first term. And because of all the technicalities and people that they were not actually prosecuting properly, but instead just playing fucking politics, that's why he got away with it. Because you guys think that you can actually start moving shit around instead of actually treating everybody else with the same level of accountability as it is mandated. But apparently, yeah, this guy being an adjudicated rapist and an adjudicated fraudster and having all kinds of convictions and criminal charges, that was better than voting for a woman. Yeah. I already told you that in July, I wrote an article that the Biden administration made a huge miscalculation by dropping off from the race. Why? Because Kamala, love her, she had the trifecta. She's a woman of color, she's a woman, and she is from national origin, meaning that her parents were born somewhere else, even though she was born in the United States of America. How the fuck do you think that there's a lot of people that they don't really understand that and they don't like people that look is slightly different than them, they were going to be accepting her? That had to be the stupidest fucking thing that you would have to realize in some fucking bubble because, okay, you're in your same progressive place where people are actually holding hands. That is not everywhere else in the United States of America. Okay, fucking sorry. Obviously, that is the case. Particularly when you see the demographics on the places where people were actually voting. Even women that were actually in some of those red states, they were never going to be voting for Kamala Harris. And I hate that. I hate that that's the case because there is all this prejudice that continues to happen and will continue happening pretty much for a long time. But I already warned about that because a lot of people, even on the day that they were voting, we're talking about on November 5th, they were still Googling, hey, when did fucking Biden drop off from the race? Because they didn't even know that he was gone. So now they're in the balance. I don't see Biden here. Because people are fucking stupid when it comes to politics. They only hear the things that the talking heads that they like are telling them. They don't really want to understand the nonsense that actually exists. That's what I said at the beginning, is that if you actually can see it in a fucking bumper sticker and it is easy for you to remember and you're voting based on that, then you're a fucking idiot because you are not really understanding that there's a larger, bigger context that affects us all. And of course, anybody who's trying to tell you that is like the movie Idiocracy, like, oh, yeah, dummy, I don't understand because you sound pompous. No, idiot. I know something that I'm trying to tell you, and if you don't understand it, it's not just going to affect you, it's going to affect us all because we're in the same motherfucking boat. And I told that to the campaign and to the influencers that we needed to talk about this because before it's too late. And I was saying that shit like fucking months ago. Now we're here. We're behind the 8 ball. It's not that we're going to be able to fix this. It's not. It's not going to be fixed. It's going to fucking get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. And chances are that people are not even going to hear my words, but they're going to leave somewhere. Okay, this is a time capsule, and you're going to be able to hear that I told you that you're a fucking idiot because we were fucking warning you. Not just to the MAGA folks, but all the motherfuckers who had an actual fucking platform. That includes the White House. That includes the campaigns. That includes the mainstream media. That includes the independent media. Because I know I had the fucking receipts that I sent you, and you never fucking answer. And there's a lot of some fucking things that I was not going to tell you on your comment section or outside because you don't play poker by showing your fucking cards because somebody else is paying attention. You are not paying attention. You with the fucking platform were not paying attention. But the people who want to be ahead, they are paying attention to that shit. But you don't fucking understand that. And now we're behind this fucking problem that you don't see still to understand because even I was listening to some fucking Pod Save America today. They still go, I think about what do you think happened? What do you think happened? Oh, maybe I should have listened. No, you motherfucker, you didn't listen. It doesn't matter what you think. What do you know? Here, I'm telling you what I know and I can demonstrate. If that would be the case, okay? But these episodes will be incredibly long. But I am not telling you what I think. I'm telling you what I know and I can demonstrate it. And you can see I've written a couple of books, Authoritarianism Propaganda, The Puppet Master Tools, and Woke and Proud, The Charlatan's Inconvenience. And they're both non-fiction, thought-provoking books that are meant to show you how propaganda actually works. So it's not something that I'm just telling you now, okay? It's not that I just fucking wrote a book because I use some AI footage shit. No, that's not what I do. I learn, I was a subject matter expert in this thing, and I'm trying to give you that information so you don't get fucking bamboozled. Now, a lot of people, they did. Now, is that going to actually save some people? Fuck, I don't know. But I'll be damned if I'm going to be just staying down and saying like, well, everybody else that I'm trying to reach in the media, they just keep talking in circles. I'm just going to just wait until hopefully they got the fucking epiphany. Well, they won't. And that's not going to happen. So, for the next topic, this is what we're going to be talking about, is what safeguards can we set before it is irreversible? So, let me put it this way. If the USA was a ship, it got struck. It's like a fucking missile, okay? It hit the ship. It's on fire and it's sinking, and it is going to sink. Now, the question is, are we going to be able to tow it into harbor before it's too late? Because right now it's sinking out to sea. And when it goes deep, we're not going to be able to refloat it. If it sinks in the harbor, at least we're going to be able to refloat it. It's going to take a while. I'm not going to fucking sugarcoat it. It's going to happen. It's going to fucking sink. And it's sinking. And we haven't even started the worst part because still, Trump has not taken office. Or rather, Putin hasn't taken office of the USA yet. And you guys who voted for that, now you cannot tell the liberals and you cannot tell the Rinos what went wrong. Because this was your fucking decision. A lot of us who were trying to tell you what was going to happen, it's happening. Alright guys, until the next time, take care.